Hello everyone, we are from the Group A and we will present our topic, which is the drug addiction. The group members who are going to present their assigned topic are Ravela A. Kimbu, Missy Sanchez, Nathaniela Ludovice, and Marianel Lampitao. And now, let's proceed to our introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. For today's lesson, we will talk about drug addiction and how it affects our health and our life, and enumerate the kinds of drugs, identify the illicit drugs. And these are the objectives for the lesson, for today's lesson. First is understand what drug addiction is. Second, understand and digest the RA 9165, or known as the Dangerous Drugs Act of 1972. Third is identify the role of the youth on the drug detection and intervention. And lastly, know the difference of drug abuse and addiction. Let us proceed to the topic about drugs. So, so what is drugs? A drug is a chemical substance used in treatment, cure, prevention, or diagnosis of disease, or used to otherwise enhance physical or mental well-being. No, so a drug is a medicine which is used to which is used in the diagnosis, cure, mitigation, treatment, or prevention of diseases in human or other animals. Ang drug kay murag imuhang uyab na excuse me. Kay murag imuhang uyab nga tambal sa imuhang sakit nga pagkatuyuin. Diba kalit-kalit ra kakasukot diya nagsagwa ka giunsa. Mao po na siya ang drug. Pero dili siya in other way lang siya nga meaning ha. Ang drug kay maoy makapaayo sa curable illness and diseases pag gigamit sa tama, no? Ang drug pud kay component na siya of such drug, meaning dili siya gamit nga kung gusto nimo gamiton or inumon, imuha pong inumon or gamiton. It is only used when it's needed, no? Example, pag gikalentura ka, diha ra ka moinom og tambal. That's all about drugs. Now let's proceed to what is drug abuse. Drug abuse refers to the use of certain chemicals for the purpose of creating pleasurable effects on the brain, meaning the use of drugs for purposes other than those for which they are meant to be used. So, when we say drug abuse, when you use legal or illegal substances in ways you shouldn't, you might take more than the regular dose of pills or someone else's prescription. Mugamit imong gi-abuse ang drugs para ma-feel mo ang good sa imong gibati. Maubos imong ka-stress, makalikay ka sa realidad nga wala nagkagusto imong crush sa imuha, char. Yana. But usually, you're able to change your unhealthy habits or stop using altogether, no? Kuan lang makakaya gyapon ka nga ma-change imong unhealthy habit para sa ning mag-abuse kag drugs. This is example of unhealthy habit kay di man jud siya healthy para sa tuwa kay maka-cause na siya og damage sa atuang emotional, physical, or mental health. When we talk about what is addiction, from the word addiction itself, di ba? Addict. Dagan na kay tag-example na kay since dagang nadakpan ang ato ang former president ana tagalog nadakpang addict sa Pilipinas. No? So addiction is like a disease that affects your brain and behavior. And when you're addicted to drugs, you can't resist the urge to use them no matter how much harm the drugs may cause. The earlier you get treatment for drug addiction, the more likely you are to avoid some of the more dire consequences of the disease. So, ang drug addiction daw kay mao ni siya ang dili jud nimo siya nga dilin mo ma-stop, no? Kanang if kailangan jud kanang if time na jud mo nga mag-take ana nga drug, kailangan jud na makuha jud na nimo, pugson jud nimo nga kuha na siya, dili jud na siya nimo pugngan. And bisag unsa pa na ka harmful para sa imuha or sa kuha. Pumupugos jud ta nga atuan nang makuha kay since addiction man good, no? So nanan siya sa word, di ba? Curable po na siya since ano man po siya kanang sakit man siya, no? If kuan na siya sa heart disease, if dili siya matreat, dili siya matambalan or dili makuan sa rehabilitation ang isa ka addict, it will cost his or her life, no? Pwede siya mamatay, mabuang, or magbuhat og mga krimen, presa ng mga rape, diba? For example, diri sa Pilipinas, ang ubang mga addict kay magbuhat na lang jud krimen, diba? Kay syempre dili naman gud nila mapugngan ang ilang gibati kay high na kayo sila sa ilang pangbuhat. And tagan og kasi-kasing high ang ilang makuan. For example, high na sila sa ecstasy, which is ang ecstasy kay ikuan ang imuhang sexual hormones ana. Then addiction is when you can stop, diba? Dili jud nimo siya ma-stop, di jud mo mapugngan. Not when it puts your health in danger. Not when it causes financial, emotional, and other problems for you or your loved ones. The urge to get and use drugs can fill up every minute of the day, even if you want to quit.
How drug abuse and addiction develops, and what are the warning signs of commonly abused drugs. How drug abuse and addiction develops. There's a fine line between regular drug use and drug abuse and addiction. Very few drug abusers or addicts are able to recognize when they've crossed that line, while frequency or the amount of drugs consumed do not necessarily constitute drug abuse or addiction. They can often be indicators of drug-related problems. First, if drugs fulfill a valuable need, you may find yourself increasingly relying on it. You may take illegal drugs to calm or energize yourself or make you more confident. You may start abusing prescription drugs to relieve pain, cope with panic attacks, or improve concentration at school or work. If you are using drugs to fill a void in your life or to maintain a healthy balance in your life. So in this case, those people who are taking illegal drugs, mao ni ang ilahang always nga ma-feel sa ilahang mga tagsa-tagsa kakaugalingon na if they take illegal drugs, kay ang example diri is it can calm or energize yourself, or it can make you more confident pagyud sa mga lain na butang. That is why ang ubang mga tawo nga naga-take og illegal drugs naga-rely diri. Second, drug abuse may start as a way to socially connect. People often try drugs for the first time in social situations with friends and acquaintances. A strong desire to fit into the group can make it feel like doing the drugs with them as the only option. And the third one, problems can sometimes sneak up on you. As your drug use gradually increases over time, smoking a joint with friends over the weekend, or taking ecstasy at a rave, or painkillers when your back aches, for example, can change from using drugs a couple of days a week to using them every day. Gradually, getting and using the drug becomes more and more important to you. So in this case also, diri ni sulod ang ginatawag na to nga addiction. Like kung before nagagamit siya og drugs, ibutang nato like kapila lang sa isa ka week, but then abot jud sa point sa iyang life nga nagagamit na siya og illegal drugs every day. So diri na nahitabo nga ang drugs is the more siya nagagamit, the more pod nga naging importante ang drug sa iyang life, nga kumbaga kung wala ang drug, kulangan ang iyang life. That is why sometimes kinahanglan ta maging careful sa ato ang mga actions kay it can cause or lead us into addiction. As drug abuse takes hold, you may miss or frequently be late for work or school. Your job performance may progressively deteriorate, and you may start to neglect social or family responsibilities. Your ability to stop using is eventually compromised. What began as a voluntary choice has turned into a physical and psychological need. Eventually, drug abuse can consume your life, stopping social and intellectual development. This only reinforces feelings of isolation. Next, warning signs of commonly abused drugs. First, marijuana. Glassy, red eyes, loud talking, inappropriate laughter followed by sleepiness, loss of interest, motivation, weight gain, or loss. Marijuana is very common to everyone, and what mentioned there are the effects of using marijuana. Next, stimulants, including amphetamines, cocaine, and crystal meth, dilated pupils, hyperactivity, euphoria, irritability, anxiety, excessive talking followed by depression, or excessive sleeping at odd times, may go long period of time without eating or sleeping, weight loss, dry mouth, and nose. Next, inhalants or glues, aerosols, vapors, watery eyes, impaired vision, memory and thought, secretions from the nose or rashes around the nose and mouth, headaches, and nausea, appearance of intoxication, drowsiness, poor muscle control, changes in appetite, anxiety, irritability, lots of glands or aerosols in the trash. And the second to the last of warning signs of commonly abused drugs is hallucinogens or LSD, PCP, dilated pupils, bizarre and irrational behavior including paranoia, aggression, hallucinations, mood swings, detachment from people, absorption with self or other objects, slurred speech, or confusion. And the last one, heroin. Contracted pupils, no response of pupils to light, needle marks, sleeping at unusual times, sweating, vomiting, coughing, sniffling, twitching, and loss of appetite.
The different types of drugs. The 5 examples of drugs are marijuana, cocaine, crack cocaine, ecstasy, and heroin. Marijuana is one of the most commonly abused illicit substances. The main psychoactive ingredients, THC delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol, causes temporary euphoria, followed by drowsiness, slowed reaction time, and increased appetite. A sign that a person is using a marijuana is glassy, red eyes, loud talking, inappropriate laughter, followed by sleepiness, loss of interest, motivation, weight gain, or loss. There are 2 types of effects of using a marijuana: physical effects and mental effects. The physical effects of marijuana is breathing problems, increased heart rate, problems with child development during or after pregnancy, and mental effects, temporary hallucination, and temporary paranoia. Cocaine is a powerfully addictive stimulant made from leaves of South America coca plants and normally comes in powder form. Street name for cocaine is include blow, bump, coke, and snow. Cocaine is most commonly snorted or injected and can also be smoked or administered to the skin. People who use cocaine often may also have more serious side effects and health problems, such as headaches, convulsion, seizures, heart disease, heart attack and stroke, blood problems, and lung damage. Crack cocaine is purer and potent form of cocaine, which typically comes in solid blocks or crystals. Crack cocaine is typically smoked, allowing it to reach the brain more quickly and result in a short-lived yet intense high. It is also increasingly commonly injected. The physical and mental effects of using crack cocaine are loss of appetite, increased heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature, contracted blood vessel, and dilated pupils. Ecstasy used by many high schoolers and young adults. Ecstasy is considered a party drug or rave drug. Its psychoactive effects include enhanced sensory perception and can cause lowered inhibition. Ecstasy is most commonly taken orally in pill form or dissolved in water, but can also be snorted or injected. Some of the effects that may be experienced after taking ecstasy include increased confidence and energy, lowered inhibitions, feelings of closeness to others, empathy, paranoia, aggression, and psychosis. Heroin is an extremely addictive substance that is synthetically derived from the opium poppy plant. It comes in form of white and brownish powder as a black and sticky substance known as black tar. Heroin is most commonly injected, though it can also be snorted, smoked, or consumed orally. Heroin have two terms of effects into our body, the short term and the long term. The short term includes dry mouth, warm flushed skin, arms and legs that feel heavy, upset stomach, and vomiting. And long term includes collapsed veins, insomnia, infections of your heart lining and valves, liver and kidney disease.
All right, we are now on the last part of our topic discussion where we are going to discuss and talk about when someone close to you have a drug problem. What are the things you need to do in order for you to help them? If you suspect that a friend or a family member has a drug problem, here are a few things you can do. Speak up. Talk to a person about your concerns and offer your help and support without being judgmental. This session, much better siya if gagawin nyo siya one-on-one or in private conversation because the more private it is, the more mas mag-build kayo ng relationship and connection with each other and magta-trust siya sa'yo. And the earlier addiction is treated, the better. Don't wait for your loved one to hit bottom. List specific examples of your loved one's behavior that you have worried and urge them to seek help. So, take action. If you know someone that has drug addiction or drug problem, speak to them and, show some concern and help them. Next is take care of yourself. Stay safe. Don't put yourself in dangerous situations. Don't get so caught up in someone else's drug problem that you neglect your own needs. It is also important that you know that you have your own life, that sometimes it's okay to put yourself first than others. And make sure you have a people you can talk to and lean on for your support. And lastly, avoid self-blame. You can support a person without a substance abuse and problem and encourage treatment. But you can't force an addict to change. You can't force your loved one's decisions. And sometimes, letting the person accept responsibility for their actions is an essential step along the way to recovery. Because you know what? On helping someone, it's not always na iti-take nila yung advices or yung help mo. But it is also important that you will let them or that specific person to realize that their actions has consequences, and you can't force someone's decision. So if you did already your part, then let them do their part. And that's the end of our topic discussion about drug education. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you learned something from us.